All right, everybody. Guess what? We're back. The Dude Brothers, Max and ChuBs. Today, we're going back to 1979.
Ooh.
This is a classic and near and dear to me because, you know, me and one of my sons love it. And you get a classic Bill Murray movie. And we're going to go deeper into it. But this is the trailer for Meatballs. So let's check it out. In 3, 2, 1.
I'm your head counselor, hoping to make your summer camp experience the best available in this price range.
For one summer, the parents of 300 children
You must be the short, depressed kid that we ordered. Come on inside, Frankenstein. I'll buy a cocktail.
are putting their
The
faith
kid from Bodyguard.
Very good.
Check these out a little bit later.
in one man.
Boy. This is such a sign of that time, huh?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna lose. But we can't lose with some self-respect.
Love it.
Which you said 79?
Yeah. They weren't close to the 80s yet in this thing. But it's classic.
How's the leg?
Okay.
Yeah, for now. But if you don't win, we cut it off. But the real excitement, of course, is going to come at the end of the summer during Sexual Awareness Week. 200 hookers from around the world, and each
Jesus.
camper, armed with only a thermos of coffee and $2,000 cash, tries to visit as many countries as he can.
Oh my god.
And the winner, of course, is named King of Sexual Awareness Week.
Bill Murray, Meatballs.
My God.
Now,
The whole Belgian
here's
shit.
some fun facts. John Landis, who made Animal House and such, Animal House was going to be coming out right before this, but they wanted to make a movie called Summer Camp. Now, there was a movie coming out called Summer Camp, so he called Egon from Ghostbusters, right? Hal Ramis, and so they started writing it out. They asked Bill Murray, and he turned it down a couple times because nobody knew what it was going to be. You never know what you're going to have at that time. In the shot where he's in front of the fire barrel, that was his first day, and that was the clothes he showed up in. But this movie came together to be a classic because back then, summer camps where you go and you spend 2 or 3 weeks sleeping there and everything. You had the boys and the girls camp. Was a big deal, and I like this movie because I call it true comedy where it's jokes that they didn't have even props half the time.
It almost seems like Bill Murray probably improvised a lot.
I believe he did.
You know,
a lot of this, he does the announcements, and one of them was
because if you look at that, you really think, it's hard to believe somebody would write down all those things in a script. He probably did a lot of improv.
And then the kid from My Bodyguard, his name escapes me, but he's the center of the story where he's shy, he shows up, he ends up, spoilers as always, they have a race, well, they're going up against a camp, and they're better than them. Like he said, we're going to lose. It comes down to a long distance race, and that kid is good at it. So at the heart, you always have a heartwarming thing to learn something from these movies.
Right.
They're funny, but he runs and he wins and he gets friends and they show the relationships. So it's not just Animal House is ridiculous comedy where it's just, this is just crazy.
Right.
There's jokes, but the story's happening. And then on the other end, a year later, you get Friday the 13th came out where that's summer camp situation. But
this movie would almost be fun to watch just to see what people wore back then. Everybody's wearing knee-high socks.
Right.
Because this is even a lot of the 80s movies we review. It's that's kind of what we grew up in. And that's kind of what we knew, and it's nostalgic. This is kind of before us. This is kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You see people wearing bell bottoms today and you're like, oh, that's retro. This is where all that came from. Like I said, it wasn't the 80s yet, and it took a while for the 80s to catch on to where it's retro now to wear baggy pants or whatnot.
Because even though it was 79, almost the 80s.
Yeah.
This movie looks very 70s, not very 80s. You know?
Right. It is a time capsule at the time. So check it out if you haven't seen it. See it again if you already have. If you love comedy, you love Bill Murray type jokes, It's called Meatballs, and it's great. It's about summer camp, 1979. So keep coming back to us to see more fun and entertainment throughout time and space. We're the Dude Brothers. He's Max, and I'm Chubbs. Till next time, over and out.